Hello, 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 everyone. It's been a while since we've done an Astro Thursday on freaking Instagram. So, welcome back, everyone, to Astro Thursday, formerly known as Success with the Stars. Y'all know we're currently building on YouTube right now, but every now and then we like to come on Instagram and just, give you guys some tea and update you on what's going on right now. I know you guys saw that crazy photo. Hold on, let me see really quickly if I can even pull it up here. I know you guys saw this. I know y'all saw this, and this was absolutely crazy. Umi, you're in the building. Request me so I can pull you up. So today we're going to be talking all about what the hell, why are all the planets so close together, what it means, and everything like that. As soon as I saw this photo, I just had to call up Umi like, yo, let's do an impromptu live, because if I see this and I'm freaking, I'm sure a lot of other people are freaking out right now or feeling just some big energies right now. So as always, I'm gonna pull up our favorite, best genius astrologer, Umi Genevieve, in the building, and we're gonna start discussing about what the fuck is even going on with the astrology right now. Let's see. Accept. I accept to do, but I'm not seeing you. Okay.
You're seeing
What's
now.
up?
Hey,
Yes, I see you.
boo.
I see you. What's up?
What's up?
Gang, gang. We need
Gang,
to do a sign.
gang.
We need to have like a astro sign. So when we come on, we be like gang, gang, and everybody can do it with us. I think of Boro when he's like under the blood. All right, looking beautiful as always. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for like fitting us in the middle of your day to just like help us like navigate this freaking energies right now. So as we let everybody just come on, I'm gonna let everybody just come on right now. Happy Aries season, happy new year, everybody. Okay, people are joining. This is like so side off. Yes, Umi the goat. Let me even just pin this. So random side note, while people are coming in, I had the craziest dream last night. I don't know if it's just me, but please let me know in the chat, like, how has your dreams been, especially during Pisces season? I feel like mine has been so weird, so potent. I literally dreamt about Shira 7 last night. So random, so crazy. I don't know why. I'm like, what could Shira 7 possibly mean in my fucking subconscious mind? But basically, we were in a mall. We went to eat. This guy was like, "Oh, I know you. I like you. Come eat over here." And then I think he put something in her food. She starts acting all wobbly. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take her to the," but I didn't know. He's like, "I'm gonna take her to the bathroom for her to puke." Turns out he ends up taking advantage of her. Then I walk in. I call like the police or the mall people. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like this dream is so random. Then I end up taking over the mall or the Walmart, and then this is where it comes to you. I remember texting you or calling you. Yes, I remember texting you or calling you, and I'm like, "Oh, Umi, by the way, guess who's the new owner of Walmart?" Or like a Walmart type of place. And I'm like, "Oh, and in my perfection year, this is a Capricorn day, and tomorrow is an Aquarius day." And yeah, I just owned a business. And you were telling me, yo, that's so on point. And that's how the dream ended. And yeah, that was my dream. So I was like, if there's anybody who has random ass dreams or even could possibly like what would Shreya 7? I know she's mad Pisces, but yeah, that was just a crazy dream. And then you end up coming in the end with like the perfection. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was my dream.
Well, just with it being an Aries energy right now, it's going to be aggressive. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be even violent. type of environments. Like even with the news right now, like Nickelodeon with Drake Bell, like every time every season comes around, and the states, this is a season that's known to do many school shootings. Around this time is when they start building up the pressure to start with the violence. Same thing with Scorpio season. Scorpio season, Aries season, there's always some undertone of like violence in some way.
I feel you. Anyways, we'll see what that dream means. Because
well, I've been tugging. I'm Mars, so on this side of it, I've been trying to mind my temper, my frustration.
So crazy. And now that you brought up the violence, I remember in the dream I actually had a knife and I slashed the dude. Yo, Shira, if you're seeing this, this means that I'm a ride for you.
Sharon's like, bitch, sprinkle.
All right, so let's go into the transits for today. Let's start with the transits just today. I know it's a Leo moon, but just to help us break down the transits of today, slightly this week. I know you've been posting a lot lately just about degree theory and the moon and where the moon and the sun is and how we can even just make sense of it. Like, we don't have to look bigger. We could just even look day to day. I know you've been talking a lot about that lately. So can you even just start breaking down today? Like, what's the current transit today? What's the energy like? And what can that tell us?
So current transits, the sun is in Leo. The sun is in Aries. The moon is in Leo. And a way where you could just work into a little bit more of that predictive astrology is looking at the degrees. From 1 to 29, they're all associated with a sign. So with it being 1 degree in Aries right now, we're in the most Aries it'll be Aries. From 0 degrees to 1, we're in the most potent of the energy, the deepest expression of the energy. So we're starting off this energy, especially with the North Node being in Aries, Chiron being in Aries. You can feel that everyone's like, what is this eclipse about? How can I be a part of it? How does it center my I am? We started off this season with the Leo moon. So the sun is home in Aries, exalted in Aries, and home in Leo. So just this overall theme of what does this mean about me? Can I be a part of this? Will this help push me as well? We started off the year with the fire energy because Mercury went direct in Sagittarius. So there's just this fire dynamic as well, where everyone wants to see how they can be part of this pie. And I feel like everyone, even if they're not into astrology, you're watching this eclipse. You're excited. You want to know what it's about.
Yo, I seriously, I haven't seen so much about a freaking eclipse. I'm like, to the point where people are even like, someone sent me the photo that I put as the graphic for this, and I'm like, I thought y'all didn't even care about astrology. Why am I scrolling through TikTok and all I see, even I'm in Montreal and I'm seeing French videos, this upcoming eclipse, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is this eclipse so important, basically? Like, why is everybody freaking out or talking about it? People are saying revelation times. Like, there's a lot with this eclipse energy, but I'll let you finish with the degree theory and the day. But I definitely want to know, like, what makes this eclipse so charged and why we're talking about it so much.
We usually have the eclipse around this time. It usually polar aspects. It's usually Aries, Taurus, and then we have the other eclipse during Libra and Scorpio. Those are usually the months, and it gives each other 6 months apart. The eclipse are 6 months, right? So for the North Node, which is the nodes of the moon, how we see the moon as it aspects the sun, is in the sign of Aries in the season that it usually is in. So it's huge. And even in astronomy, this is a special eclipse. We're going to be able to see it. There's going to be spaces of the world that are going to be able to see the eclipse very closely for the first time in like years, centuries. So it's in the sign, it's in the season, and astronomy wise, this is where I think they're going to be able to see it. Don't quote me on this, but there's a special part of this where you're going to see it on the West Coast. Don't quote me on like where it's supposed to be seen, but it's a special eclipse, one that we haven't seen in years. So that's why it's very it's so monumental. for the world. They're feeling so close to it, yet millions of people be coming to my state to see it. Yep. Like it's going to be seen in a way that it's never seen before. They're saying to bring their glasses. You're going to see people start selling the glasses for everyone to go out and see it. So this is a special one.
Okay. In terms of the energy today, was there more that you wanted to say about that?
Oh no, I just wanted to let you know like why it's probably so special to certain people.
All right. So we are in this big stellium right now, to the point like mostly all the luminaries are so close together. We have Sun, Mars, Venus, even Mercury's not too far. Like almost all the planets are within 20 degrees of each other. With all the energy so packed like that, what does that mean for, because it'll take a while until it actually starts to dissipate. So it was like that in Pisces season. Now it's going to be like that in Aries season. What does it mean to have all of this energy so like within the same degrees?
Within the same degrees, within the same signs, it wants you to focus on the themes, the characteristics of this energy. Now, with it being in Mars, we have to Mars, and then just the South Node being in Libra. Where are we in this world if everything is a versus? Me versus you, me versus this, me going against that. We're in this energy where everyone feels like they need to pick a side, stay on a side, as if they're not allowed to change their minds. You better stand next to what you stood by. And this is the energy that's making it fake. And Aries really wants to center like being authentic, walking in integrity, being unapologetic. But we're in a versus energy since the nodes are in Aries and Libra. And and since it is strongly in Aries, this is a very important year, starting since last year for cardinals. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. Why let it be in any of your personal placements, perfection, progression? Why has 2023 to 24 been so important for you to find integrity, be unapologetic in who you are, faith? Like, what is your real end goals, especially since the nodes are centering you? And even more personally, those who have Aries and Libra, even your children who have Aries and Libra placements, this is going to be a very important, starting since last year, 18 and a half months for them.
I can definitely see. No, I was just gonna say I can definitely see the versus aspect that you're talking about, because I like to look at astrology in real time as like I like to look at it from a future based thing. Like, okay, if I was in the future, which now would be the past, and I was looking back on it, how would what happened like impress my knowledge on the actual transits? And one thing I remember about the eclipse, the first eclipse being in Aries and Libra, it was the day that Barbie and Oppenheimer came out. And they both came out on the same day. And it was literally on the same day or the same week or within like just a day of each other. And it was this big thing of like, which one's going to win? Which one's going to pull in a lot of people? Barbie ended up winning, obviously. But it was this, maybe it was done purposely as well, but it was this huge already versus, like usually in Hollywood, they don't put out two big movies with two big actors on the same day. Like they usually don't. They'll wait because it's like the whole box office weekend. So that day on the eclipse that happened. So I feel like that was a pivotal moment to just show us that versus energy is going to follow us throughout this whole transit. Very interesting. I like you talk about the unapologetic thing as well. I feel like Adam. Okay, no, it's Instagram telling me to add a moderator. Talk to me about what does this mean for cardinal energy? I know you touched on Aries, Libra, but cardinal energy in general, or just this energy. What message would you have for the cardinal, for the fixed, for the mutables, like in this season, in this eclipse season right now?
First is seeing where this energy even sits in your chart personally. Where is Aries in your natal chart? What house is it in? Also, when it comes to the space, since the nodes are here, Chiron is here too. Where do we still have crutches? We still lack identity, autonomy. We still have fears in whatever this house it sits in, Aries. Also, how this energy aspects you. It'll be really personal to those who have cardinal because it aspects them closely, Aries. It can either square them, conjunct them, square, conjunct. Yep, two energies of square, conjunct, and oppose. So it's going to aspect you personally. Another thing, we're looking for patterns in astrology since it's mathematical. So if we're in a cardinal season now, let's go to the last time we were in a cardinal season, Capricorn season. So anyone who's really trying to like make so much of this energy, Aries energy, what did you start during Capricorn season to build up into this? And then prior to that, what did you start during Libra season, the last cardinal sign, to get into the Capricorn season to now walk into Aries season? Now, even if you had nothing going on, you can still pinpoint all those months because they're going to aspect each other so closely.
So you're saying if we were building something from these seasons, like Libra, Capricorn, now it should manifest, or we should still be building up on it?
That comes with if you are aware.
Okay.
If you are aware of your choices, if you are intentional, you'll see how, oh yeah, I did start something during Capricorn season, and now I have to reflect on it during Aries season. If you're not aware, you're just gonna have to go back and do the work, but the work is there. It is naturally that these months aspect, they're all new beginning seasons.
Okay. Since you brought up the new beginnings, it's the astrological new year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to you and me.
Happy New Year.
And I know you just launched, you have a class coming up next week about like mastering the new year and everything like that. And part of that class, you're going to talk about just like the history of the new year and the spring equinox and the Aries energy and everything like that. And I found it really interesting. I just wanted to know if you could just if you could talk a little bit about it here as well. Just like the history of Aries season, starting the equinox, being the astrological new year, and just the importance as well of this particular Aries season too.
Yep. So this is spring. So on the states, we'd be in energy of spring. On the northern, on the west, we'd be in energy of the spring, right? And that's why we're connected to more of the tropical. Where if you're going to go in the east, they would be more in the energy of Vedic, because they could be hot all year long. Like, there's no season change, just one season, right? So we on the tropical, we really go towards starting the energy with Aries, and Aries is the energy of new beginnings. It starts the chart, it starts the wheel. It's also, since it's springtime, this is when energy grows. This is when it's time. April showers brings May flowers. For the new year to be in Capricorn season, that's when things die, end. That Saturnian energy. So that would be more of when the crops are dying, when it's time for hibernation. So Aries energy is considered the astrological new year. It's also a lot of religious times too. Easter, the rebirth, the reborn, Ramadan, all that energy there. So even showing the energy of new birth, rebirth. So this is why Aries is connected to that. Also, all cardinals start seasons. Aries, spring; Cancer, summer; Libra, fall; Capricorn, winter. And that's why they're the head honchos of the chart. And the head honchos of their family, no matter what. If you're a cardinal, you run the show in your family in some way.
What do you hope will come out of this particular North Node transit, with the being in cardinal energy, being Mars versus Venus, being Aries Libra? Like, what do you hope will come out, like, positively? How do you hope that would affect us, everyone?
The cardinals?
Yeah. Collectively, and the cardinals, yeah.
The cardinals, with the way they're being aspected. Aries. So if you're an Aries energy, you are conjunct this energy. So Aries are coming into so much of new beginnings, who I really am. I never even knew I could even be this. Coming out of fearful mindsets, being more, taking more initiative, being more aggressive in their approach to get what they want, especially coming out of that those fearful type of mindset. So since it conjuncts them, it's like a whole rebirth. Some of them could be changing their look, changing their style, changing their surroundings. It's conjunct them, which could be a little uncomfortable because it's an energy that's rubbing you. It's on top of you. So Aries may even feel like they're not even allowed to be stagnant at this moment. They can't in some capacity. So that's Aries, the conjunct. Now the opposition would be Libra. Libras are in the big verses. Libras are in energies where they can feel that they're indecisive. Do I take one foot here, one foot there? What side do I go on? Libras actually kept learning this time about duality. How they don't have to be just one thing. They could be a few things. They could be two things. Maybe they might need a villain era, even though they're a good guy. Sometimes too. That opposition. Also, since Mars is opposing them, where Libra can feel like they're a little bullied, pushed into corners right now, and that kind of basis as well. And where they need to even come into the basis since Mars is looking at them. Aries, confronting things. Libra's coming into the basis of how can I learn to confront unapologetically. Now the squares. The squares are Cancer and Capricorn. This could be a little bit of a tough transit for them, especially since it could be hitting home front, maybe hitting a history that they've already built, a timeline they've already built that now is asking them to Martian. Maybe even destroy everything they've had, end it, walk away, rebrand it into something completely different, anew, strange, unique. So that energy, since they're being squared, it's gonna be a little tough for them with the Aries energy since they're squared Cancer in Capricorn. But for the cardinals, it's still big for you. Just like the last North Node with Taurus, big year for fixed signs when it came to 2022, 21, 22. Big years for fixed signs. So it was a Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio time when the nodes was in Taurus. Now since it's in Cardinal, Aries, it's for the Cardinals.
I can see that as an Aries rising, I can definitely attest to everything that you've saying, just even about wanting to show up more unapologetically, even attracting clients who are like, I just want to be myself online. Like even today, like us doing this impromptu live, like showing out, just being unapologetic about what we're doing. I love that. And I can see that for us. And I feel like as an Aries rising, it aligns a lot with with where I believe the world should be in a way. Like we should be able to be individuals in a society and like follow our passion and follow our purpose and like, live from the heart. But there's Chiron in Aries. So what is that? What's that pushing us to do? Because as much as I feel like, okay, this is my fucking year, my fucking season, like just literally changed my bio the day the sun went into Aries. Like, yeah. But there's Chiron there that's still just like fucking with the overall identity still. And it's still making, the doubts creep in and shit like that. So what's up with Chiron and Aries, and how do we work around that even with the North Node being there? Because it's like we're pointing towards Aries, but then there's still some things we need to heal.
Facts with the Chiron energy. Chiron in Aries, personally for me, speaks to the detriments of hustle culture. A lot of, especially the Cardinals, because the Cardinals are all about that. Cardinals are all about get it out the mud, end goals. I'm the leader of the pack. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. Where Chiron coming into Aries opened up, you're destroying the physical body. Aries rules the core, the outer shell, the first house, where we're now putting too much pressure on the body. Pressure, like it's during this transit that they're talking about, the basis of work weeks, PTO. This started since 2018. And if we're going to look at it transit wise, when Chiron moved into Aries, around 2018, 19 and on, a little before the pandemic, a lot of corporations were coming apart, falling apart, selling off, laying people off.
Absolutely.
There was actually a big layoff between that 17 to 19, right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
I was in corporate, and I can, like, you're so fucking spot on. My company literally was closing down during that period. Big ass company, like reputed, and they were like closing down. So 2018. So you're super right.
I was a waitress for like 10 years, and the restaurant just shut down on us. I was like, thank God I left.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, y'all got to figure it out. Now, thank God we went through a Uranus and Taurus, which gave a lot, like started the funding and the layoffs, and just that whole would build into the pandemic, so people could even get, protection, paycheck protection, and things like that. But starting around that time, it really opened up. What are we really working for? What is it really about? Especially with Libra being in opposition, is it for us or is it for social status? Cardinals could actually fall into that a lot of times. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, where they feel like they need to get a degree, have a certification, keep up with the Joneses. Many times they're the oldest, so they have to even keep up a certain face value, or the only in that way. If they have Cancer and Capricorn, they could even be first generation, where they have to just do it just cause, or just cardinal. So just that basis there. So around with Chiron being in Aries, and now the North Node being in Aries, a lot of us are talking about, especially the Pluto and Sagittarius generation, Gen X. I'm sorry, Gen Z. I always mix them. Gen Z. The fire energy. They're like, yo, what are we working for? They're gonna lay you off. They're not even gonna give you. They're not even gonna care about you in the next week.
Retirement doesn't even pay shit.
That fire dynamic. What are we working for? That basis there. Also around that time, opened up a big push of entrepreneurship, working for self. But with the nodes coming in, I even asked, like, just looking at the transits, where has even working for yourself now become just as hard? Just like as if you're like, where have you really left capitalism?
No, say more, because so I'm coming up in this tourist season, being 3 years as my own boss. I know you too. You've been your own boss for a while as well, and I work with a lot of creative entrepreneurs, and this is definitely one thing that I do see. So it's like we leave the job culture to now just create the job culture with our businesses, which doesn't make sense because we're one person, and then we are expecting to do the same amount of thing that like a company can do. And a lot of the times as well, we're structuring our lives and everything like a 9 to 5, even though we're in our business and we're not even working 9 to 5. We're working like 12 hours, 14 hours. We're always on the clock. A lot of creative entrepreneurs don't delegate, so they don't get an assistant. They don't get little things like that that would like literally make you not go crazy. And there's just this whole, like you said, I feel like a part of it is like guilt, and a part of it is pressure. It's like you left your job or you're doing this, so you just feel like, yo, no days off. Like I can't take a day off. I better reply to this client email even though I'm off and it's my weekend and I'm spending time with my family. You just feel like, yo, if that person waits 2 days, they might just like say so. So you're working, and it's like, so I'm very happy for us that, we got out of the whole rat race, but then we're recreating the rat race within our businesses. And I think for sure we got to be really careful and mindful of that. But yeah, tell me more, because I feel like I know, I'm sure there's a bunch of entrepreneurs right now just feeling this as we like in this live right now. So tell us more about like even how the transits are pointing to that and the overall message too.
So with transits, so around 2017, 19, we had the nodes. Yep, as we moved into 2017, 19, we had Saturn. We had, just want to make sure, Saturn and Capricorn, because we were moving into Saturn and Aquarius. So Saturn and Capricorn. And then when we moved into the North Node being Cancer, so between 2018 to 2000, so North Node coming into, North Node being into Cancer. Yeah, before that 2020. Yep, before that 2020. A lot of stay-at-home moms, a lot of people working from home, working remote, had this push to now see that, like, oh, like there's maybe the transit was coming, maybe that energy was coming about to play, but a lot of people realized maybe we should start working remote. So around that time, because I'm looking for the energy when it was in Cancer and Capricorn. Now that it's in Aries, I feel like this transit is even asking those who work at home, who are stay at home, like who built this energy remote, where they might even be feeling like, do I need to step out of this? Do I need to, have I really looked at this the wrong way? With Chiron being in Aries, North Node being in Aries, it's more of like, what is the end goal, but also who I am as I go through this process. And I think a lot of that transit when it was in Capricorn and Cancer, it made a lot of people feel like maybe if they work from home or remote, it would be easier. It would be way more, like they would have way more power. But now that we're in Aries, this transit could just open up more. We need to destroy a system. This is a strong political transit. We need to end this idea of what work is, how we should work, operate, how does it correlate with the body, the mind, mental health, later in life, especially with Saturn being in Pisces, when we're older. How is this going to make sense when we're older? Because around when those transits were in Capricorn and Cancer, so many people were like, yo, but I could just leave my job and work from home. Many had to work from home and build things from the home base. When the nodes was in Cancer and Capricorn, when Cancer and Capricorn, and we're looking at 2019, 2020, right before it moved into so 2018, 19, right? Because Gemini was in between that, and then we moved into Taurus. So right before the pandemic, a lot of homegrown businesses in the house, a lot of self-entrepreneurs started around that time. And right now with this transit in Aries, it's just that questioning again. Like, where has the pressure really being alleviated? Has it been? Aries is the head. Like with Aries, with the energy being in Aries, Chiron being in Aries right now, people got to be careful they don't bust into aneurysms, pressure bust pipes, strokes, like where it's just more like I'm burnt out, checked out. Because this, and Chiron being here is just asking really, what is this social political climate around ambition, speaking.
Well done. I want to say that. Wait, do you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. I wanted to say that everything you're saying is very spot on. I'm part of a nonprofit, a mental health nonprofit, and the studies that they pulled lately is crazy. So everything you're saying about, we thought that working from home was going to be better and easier. So the studies they actually pulled shows that our jobs are actually working us more, that we're actually working more now that we're home, because there is less of a barrier between work and home. So if before you were finishing at 5, you did have that, probably that 30-minute commute home, those type of things. Like, start, it's like now you just wake up, you go to your computer, they expect you to just be logged on all the time. Like, I'm not fully sure of all the statistics, but the conclusion was that we're actually working more, that now that we're working home. And I think they said that a lot of people just like kept working past their hours. It's easier for them to work past their hours, and it's easier for them to work on weekends because they're home. So they're just like, an extra hour, whatever, I'm just at the desk already. Whereas before you would clock out. Now it's like, so it's very interesting that you said that, and that you could even see that with the energy, because like actual mental health like studies are showing that like even the working from home is still not the best option, and we still have to find some other option right now. Like you said, maybe just literally breaking down the system, 4-day work week, better work life. Like it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, because even though we're working from home, they still have the same capitalistic mindset of like squeeze them from everything they have, squeeze the juice. So it's still not working out for us. And I don't know about other people, but you know, I'm online based as well. So I've been less physical. I've been less walking, less um active, because like you said, like before when we were outside, like we were walking, we were more active, and like now I'm more like at my desk. So there is this aspect of like, yes, we worked at home, but then our health went down because we're probably eating bad and we're not exercising and we don't socialize. So mental health issues, bodily issues, and you're right, like the head, um you're just so fucking spot on, like it's crazy.
It's a big shift with coming with this cardinal energy, like this Aries. Just want to center back to the being, the physical. Just with it being in cardinal, how for the cardinal dominance, getting back into the gym, getting more physical. So Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. Why it even feels like this year you want to get a trainer. You want to be more trained and some basis there, balancing out your work, your ambitions, and self. It's for the collective. But since it's in cardinal energy, it aspects them more closely. And check your progressions, check your solar return, check all of that to see if you're even in a cardinal year. Now, I also want to open up mutable energy. Now, Aries is going to be the base of the physical, that ambition. Mutable energy is that mental health and our subconscious and why we even think the way we think. And that's the basis with Saturn being in Pisces right now. Where did this idea come from? Where did these beliefs come from? Even personally for you, since it's the energy of your undoing, your sometimes repressed thoughts. So it's Saturn being in Pisces, and whenever that sits for you, why do you have this belief here? Who told you about that belief? Who told you that this was true? So wherever that sits in your house. For me personally, it's in my 8th house. This whole transit has asked me, especially as a Leo rising, right? What is true love? What is that? What is love? What is expression? What is my belief around sharing, committing, relating to people? Who told me this idea? Is it real? This idea that I have when it comes to connecting, especially as a Scorpio sun, and that being my home house, 8th house. So this whole year, about to be 2 years now, it's been about really what is my idea of merging with others, sharing myself with others. For you, it's in your 12th house. So how's that been for you?
Which transit you're talking about?
Pisces, Saturn and Pisces.
Pisces. Oh, Saturn and Pisces. Well, it's my Saturn return. So fuck me. No, I'm just kidding. It's my Saturn return, and honestly, I'm happy that I found astrology before, because I I feel like it's challenging, but I like it. Like I've been discovering a lot of hidden aspects about myself, being that 12th house. I feel like there's also like a lot of things that was like blocking me that is now coming to the surface as well. So there's just things where I'm just like, yeah, if you want to make it, if you want to be bigger, if you want to blah blah blah, like you need to remove these things. There's also aspects of my 12th house. As much as I want to pop off, I feel like I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes or internationally, and it's like maybe not my time yet. And then it being Pisces and being creative, I always say this, I never thought I was a creative person before like 2 3 years ago. I swear to God, like you could have asked me before, like creativity, I'm like, I thought like that was like painting only, or like but now I'm like, yo, I'm totally a fucking creative person. Like I think creatively. Y'all be seeing my graphics that I be like, the flyers that be popping off. And I'm like, why did I ever think that I was not creative? So there's just like a lot of hidden creativity as well, that's been coming out. And I feel like Pisces and it being like not like digital, but like illusion based, so like graphics, and like I'm really into I can't find the word, but like Adobe After Effects, like those type of things, like editing, like videos. Like I try to think of like producing, but either way, there's that. And unconditional love, man, just unconditional love for myself and for others. Like, um, yeah, it has been a thing. Like just being talking my shit, being a spiritual leader, a lot. It's my, like I said, it's my Saturn return, so there's a huge part of like coming home to myself, and I felt like I didn't see myself as clearly before, and now I'm like starting to see myself clearer. I don't know if that makes sense with that placement. Like Saturn and Pisces are on 11, 12. Like I'm seeing myself clearer now. Like I feel like before it was like I wasn't seeing myself like I'm seeing myself now. I don't know if that makes sense.
That like my favorite thing to say about Saturn and Pisces is like, I'm coming out. Oh yeah. Like that whole thing, I want the world. Like it's just because you're hidden. You're in a space where it's always the things in the back of your mind. They're like, can I do it? Will I do it? Is it possible? And that's the thing for the mutables right now. So Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, this is your transit personally. And this is about the basis where you feel like it's my mind that's telling me that I'm not like I'm not allowed, or where did I get this belief from that I can't do this? Where have I hidden myself? Where do I feel like people who even know me on an everyday basis still are not too sure, or I'm still hiding this part about me? Like it's not transparent. So for mutables right now, it's huge on transparency and just being open with just sharing your ideas, sharing your gifts. Even if it's a little, like it still needs work, practice makes perfect, because it's always going to be mutable. So this is their transit. So they're feeling very Saturnian. So all mutables right now feel like, okay, I need to make up my mind. What is my, like, I need to make a choice. Like what is, or I need to figure out the one thing I like and see how far I could push it. That basis thing, but it's still Saturnian. So all of you guys are really having a Saturn return or a Saturn aspect, especially tipping the big three personally. So that's your transit for the mutables.
Hold on, keep talking. I'm just trying to put the class you're doing in the chat. But go ahead. But I agree.
Let me find something to talk about.
No, but I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying, and the I'm coming out, absolutely. And now that you brought that up, part of it being in my 12th house has been like I've done so much work on my subconscious mind and rewiring myself and my mind for success. Like you said, just why did I even think these things? Like I just realized there was just so much limiting beliefs in my mind, and just a lot of like, I wouldn't say victim mindset, but just this, can this really happen? Like, what was me? Like kind of like narrative that I'm like, yo, fuck it. Like I'm gonna give it all that I can, and it's like at the end of my life I'll be happy. Like either way, it works or it doesn't. All I could say is that I did what I wanted to do, and that's the best that I can fucking like say for my life, that I followed what I wanted to do. I followed my purpose. I followed what was in my heart. And before there was this kind of like, oh, but like I don't have the skills to do it. Oh, but I don't have like what it takes. And it's like with Saturn coming back here is just like this, like I feel like I'm fortifying myself, and even subconsciously I see the difference that the work has done to really be like, to believe in myself, to be out here talking to you, to link up with people that I would have never thought like 2 years ago I would like link up with them, because I did not have that confidence. I didn't have that like belief in myself. And I feel like that's what I've been cultivating, and that's what I'm continuing to cultivate right now. That's the biggest thing that I can see so far. Like my Saturn's at 6 degrees, so it's just literally still there. But throughout the rest of Saturn's transit, I'm excited to see what else like solidifies, literally.
It's a beautiful transit because it's still Piscean. So its dreams can come true. If you believe it, you can achieve it. First, you have to believe it's possible to now make it Virgo. And since Venus is in Pisces, this should even be a miracle time for some of you mutables. Like, yo, this is really happening for me. So some of you mutables could have had a really spontaneous March, spontaneous, or where you could see different opportunities, different avenues that could have just creeped up on you in ways where you're like, oh, that thing that I put in the back of my mind now is in the front. For the beautiful Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius. Since the energy is going to center you guys more personally.
All right. I got the comment. Thank you. So I know we were talking about the work culture and the hustle culture, and something we didn't touch on, and I think too Saturn in Pisces has been doing that, is the balancing the nervous system aspect. So that's a huge part, like you said, the whole body and understand. Like I can attest to that being cardinal as well. It's like sometimes your ambition can like kill you because like you know how it is, like you're so like ambitious and hungry and like work, grind, and I feel like even just the whole understanding the work life balance, understanding the balance between the physical and the spiritual, understanding that everything will happen in its time and divine timing, and sometimes we don't have to rush. And then also just taking time to regulate our nervous system. I feel like that's huge. Saturn in Pisces, those are the messages that I've been having, is just like relax, chill, divine timing, like prepare yourself. Like sometimes I like to, like I truly believe this, we really be saying like, yo, I want this, I want the fame, I want the money, I want the, but get that tomorrow, we'd be hiding in our rooms. We'd be like, ah, because our nervous system is not even acclimated to that. Like we're not even used to like that level of like responsibility, or we still have like anxiety around certain things. So I feel like Saturn in Pisces is even also helping us just like, yeah, like prepare even our nervous system for the shit that we want. Plus it's going, Saturn will go into Aries after, and Neptune will go into Aries, and it's like prepare yourself energetically for this new world. Prepare your system for this new world that we're about to enter, where all your dreams and shit is about to happen. Like, are you really ready for it? Get yourself ready. Like, that's just what I've been getting. I don't know. I don't know if that's totally just me just transmitting, but let me know if it makes sense.
Definitely. When you're talking about the nervous system, like Cardinals, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, they're high functioning depressants. They're people that even when they're sitting still, they're thinking about future, end goal, 5 years, 10 years. So you wouldn't even know these people were depressed sometimes. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, because they're still doing the overtime, getting work done, going forward, that basis. So with it, Chiron being in Aries, the baby, we have to get back to where we have become high functioning, or where we could possibly be high functioning depressants.
Absolutely.
Just high functioning. That's the kind of basis there. And this is going to trigger. Another thing is Mars is masculine. Are we following this work ethic, this work blueprint based on how men in the masculine experience have worked? Because that's not going to be fair if you're like, you know, like a woman and you're just our menstrual. Like, that's why I'm still going through all these issues with like work day, like getting work days off based on our cycles, just things where it's just labeled like, are we allowed to be feminine? And I was telling my partner this. I was like, where because I was on Quora, right? And it was bothering me because they were like, I hate women bosses. And I was kind of hurt. They were like, yeah, even women were like, yo, I hate working for women. I hate when women are women bosses. They're so emotional and they bring everything to the emotion. They're like, and I'm like, whoa, this was bothering me. So I usually don't try to comment. I just read and just give my own, but I felt compelled. I was like, first of all, we're not given the same, like, you know, it just isn't fair based on this blueprint. And when you put a feminine space into it. And of course, we're going to come off more emotional because we're dealing with more of the emotions. When you go to HR, there's a bunch of women in HR, not men. Like, you know what I'm saying? No offense, but like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of basis there. So that energy can, it just doesn't work with this. Like if we're going to build in both sexes in these environments. Another thing, I was telling my partner this the other day. I was like, male bosses, they come in, they're like, yo, pizza for everybody. Great day. Talk to my assistant. That's why women have been huge in being secondary to this energy, the helper to this energy. And I feel like with Chiron being here, we have so much to talk about with where we're following a blueprint, we're following a way of life that is geared towards one sex,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not going to work. Because then if we were gonna take the same female boss that's like the worst, right, or this woman boss that's the worst, and put them in a feminine space like a daycare, you would see a mammy on there, you're like, whoa, where the women at?
Mm-hmm.
Where the women at? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are we just being like, you know what I'm saying? Are we just, is it like, where do we need to make it equal if we want that? Another thing I'm seeing with Chiron being in Aries is where some people are even fantasizing the traditional life. Maybe they may not want to be boss girl and boss life. So we just need to figure out, are we sure we're not made for these places? Or is it just a system that's been happening for years and years that was never built for this time period, for this era that we're in? So that's why it's so political. That's why so much political news is going on around laws. Since the nodes have moved into Aries, Chiron being in Aries, we just really had to look at the elites and the higher ups, the public figures, and if we really even trust them, really want to work towards their leadership. Does it make sense? It's just going to get even more when Saturn moves into Aries. So just more of that conversation.
This is crazy, man. I feel like Saturn in Pisces as well is this quiet revolution, this quiet rebellion as well, and everything that you're saying about the blueprint being geared to just one sex, like absolutely. You were talking about the female bosses and people like, I hate female bosses and shit like that. First of all, I just want to say, like, I feel like a lot of women sometimes, or people project when they have female bosses. I was a female boss, and like, I'm just gonna say that, and I felt like I was a very good leader. I think that one, some men have trouble listening to a woman as a boss, and then two, there's other women who have like internalized literal misogyny who'll be like, I like working with the guys more, or I like working with men more. And I feel like it's just the same thing that you said. It's like we're women adapting to a blueprint, and people want us to act the same as guys. But when go tell them to tell their emotions to their male boss, and all of a sudden it's not the same. Like you said, we're the one when they're calling like, my boyfriend just broke up with me. Why didn't you call the other boss? Why are you calling me to ask for your day off? Oh shit, we lost Umi. I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna get her back in here. But y'all know what we're saying. So I feel like a lot of it is internalized misogyny, and I can totally get it. Sadly, when I was in my young ages as well, I used to be like, sometimes women can be so emotional. That's why they don't do business. But I won't lie. That was just very peak niche-y of me, and we could actually be amazing leaders, and we have the emotional capacity and intelligence and empathy to be great leaders. So I'm gonna just put that in here. Let me just try to get Umi back so we can finish this conversation. If you joined, Umi, just request me back. Chosen One said, ditto, I was a great boss, but I also laid the foundation. I'm here for no nonsense. Absolutely. I'm like the opposite. I feel like all my women bosses showed me what it was like to be a great boss, and I really loved how they all like flew between the masculine and the feminine, where men were just like one way. We're definitely saving this live. Hold on, I'm just trying to get I'm literally just trying to get Umi back. Maybe something happened. Phone died. Let's see. Give us 2 minutes for whatever it is to clear out. But how has this Aries season been going for y'all? The new year just started. Happy New Year. Okay, you're back. I was like, we're giving you 2 minutes.
2?
No, you hear me? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's someone said it's one of those things you have to be in those shoes to understand. And I definitely agree, because when you're the only woman in the room and you're sitting just around men, you naturally feel more emotional. But let's not forget that anger is an emotion, y'all. Let's not forget that anger is an emotion. And I feel like men get a pass of like not being emotional because we don't treat anger like an emotion. And anger is very much an emotion. So a man being angry and yelling at his subordinates or team members is not him laying down the law. It's him being emotional. Like for real, like when I was in these positions, I was like, how is that any different than the woman doing it? It's just that with the men, it's like, oh, he's strict, he's laying down the law, and when the woman does it, she's just being emotional. Like, let's be really honest, that's what it is. Um, but I really love that you brought up this topic in general, Umi, because something that I'm really big on is feminine leadership, and I think that for some reason, and you let me know if there's some correlation, but I see a lot of Aries women. Um, like I don't, I can't, I don't know if I can articulate it, but I follow a couple like Aries dominant placements, and it's crazy to me, but they have this hyper feminine aesthetic. And usually with Aries, it's like all like, oh, they're masculine, but they really thrive. Like they have a great balance between masculine and feminine, and they like their pages are pink and they're like in this hyper feminine aesthetic and like feminine leadership. And I think that more women in power, more we're gonna find this balance of like the blueprint of like, yes, maybe sometimes we do need days off. Maybe we need 4 days working instead of 5, and stop seeing feminine as weak, but here to balance what has been so extreme. Because you said something, you said the system was not made for all of us, but the system was made for none of us. The system was made for none of us to thrive. And as long as we keep thinking, oh, some of us can win at this, we're all losing because it was not made for any of us to win. And I think we need to allow back that feminine energy. And yes, we need days off. And yes, we need more PTO. And yes, we need longer pregnancy leave. And yes, we need to prioritize motherhood. And women should not be going back to work 2 fucking weeks after they just gave. Like, that is diabolical. Like, and I think that this needs to be everybody's problem, because the more we prioritize these things in society, the better it is for everyone. It's not a man versus woman thing. It's not a, oh, women are gonna have it easier. No, we all are going to have it easier. If we all have 4-week work days, we're all gonna have 4-week work days. We're all gonna have this. Men should have paternity leave as well. It's not a man versus woman thing. It's a us thing. It's a family building thing. It's a society building thing. And I hope this is what this transit does for us, man. No, we can't hear you.
I believe it will. I like to work with patterns. The last time we had the Saturn in Pisces, Saturn in Aries, we're working towards the ending of the 90s. We're coming into that idea of the new millennium. So it will be the same type of feeling. Just another basis that age group is turning 30 in the next 2 years. Just the millennium babies, the coming into that Y2K late 90s, that basis there. And now they're the new adults of the world, and their ideas and those concepts. So definitely there's going to be like this new understanding of the world. That's why it's so politically driven right now. What side are you on? And we're going to see a lot of first time and different positions of leadership. And that's been happening since Jupiter was in Aries. So since 2022, where in the States, they said that starting around that 2021, 22. So just looking at the dates, but around that time, we saw so much women in the Supreme Court, so much women come into politics, and even as we come into this now. So there is coming changes. There will be changes around that. Now back to what you were saying before. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So back to what you were saying before, Aries, Mars. You're going to see a lot of Mars women in leadership, because Mars women are usually the only girls in their family, or the only women, or the first daughter, or the girls guy. Daddy's girls, daddy's only. So Martian women usually can handle that masculine pressure. Even Scorpio women. So they understand the duality sometimes, and the back and forth, and just the undercurrents of their sexualities very early in their life. Martian women can feel like they were even imposed on as children, where they had to defend themselves against sometimes, many times, these masculine experience. Mars women are even women that are known to confront the masculine energy easily, or feel like they can confront it easily. So there'll be a lot of boss girls and Martian women, first ladies. Based on the research that I've done, most female rappers are going to need to have Mars somewhere in the chart. Let it be exalted, let it be home, let it be aspecting them closely, but they're going to need Mars to even be first lady. So that's a strong placement in women who understand their sexuality, they understand their femininity, they understand their power points in that, and they're not afraid to delegate. Lead. Most Martian women who are mothers can feel like they're both mom and dad, or they have to lead their partner. Aries and Scorpio, mostly like Martian.
I remember your post about like women even needing Martian energy to be like you know, like those criminal lords like Griselda and shit like that, and I fucking highly resonated with that. I was like, I could be the head honcho, like totally.
You ever get it to the mud with you? You're gonna need Martian. Saturnian to make it long term. So Saturn too, like Aquarius women, Capricorn women. They are also very strong in leadership, strong in taking in, like, where they can delegate as well, and they play the long game. Martian women just have to they can take on that leadership, but just even that basis with how it can be impulsive, how it can be it has to work on its temper, work on its frustrations, where Saturn women will play the long game.
Very interesting. Okay, so as we close up, I know we talked a lot about Chiron, about the North Node as well, just the nodes. But I just wanted to ask, why is this North Node in Aries so significant? Because I don't know if that's how we count it, but usually, you know, the nodes go backward. So I see this literally as like start either at the end or the start of a new node cycle. Because we're in Aries and Libra, then it's going to go to Pisces and Virgo. So why is like the North Node in Aries so important this time? I try to think of like when we get to 0 degrees, North Node Aries, like, is that significant in any way? Because like Aries, 0 degrees, like, yeah.
That, you know, it is. So yeah, so if you are familiar with the Draconic chart, in Draconic chart, the North Node is at 0 degrees Aries. And it's the chart of the soul of the chart, the soul of the soul. It's your highest self. It's where all your natal charts are born from. So with the North Node being here and going to come here for round out at 0 degrees, this is why it's such an important, just with the eclipse that it's in, just with the political climate that we're in, the Palestinian and Israeli, that conflict, and even the Haiti and the Dominican Republic, that basis there, and just Haiti in general, and just these political themes that we're experiencing, they've been going on for years. This is year-long issues. But when the nodes moved into Aries, it's like the world started listening. The world started to realize that we need to get on top of this. We need to figure out what's going on. We need to figure out who are we as a people. And since the North Node goes naturally, the soul of the chart starts at 0 degrees in Aries, we are in a soul searching time as a collective. Who we really are. What are we really about? What does it really mean? The celebrities have even been coming out, celebrity downfalls, and who we've projected on, and who we thought was this picture perfect, what we think is picture perfect. I wouldn't be surprised if certain people who didn't even believe in or who practice forms of therapy and higher learning, they have felt that they've become glued in since last year. It's probably been a huge spiritual awakening for men since the North Node was in Aries since last year. Just the collective of how do we really operate on a human level, since this is an important node. And also we're starting it again. We're starting a new cycle again. So we're we're at an end point. There's an ending energy here.
Mm.
I mean, why they're saying that even in astrologically, we're talking about aliens and going to different planets and life on other planets and planets being so close to us, climate change, all this stuff is coming about, natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
So some energies are looking at revelations, and you can look at it as anything you want. But if we're going to look at it from an astrological point, you would know that this is an important north node when it comes to like draconic, when it comes to that energy, if you operate in that area, if you believe in the soul of the soul.
Mm.
But it's still an important chart because it does come up as one of the important charts to look at. Like it's it'll give you that, it'll give you Vedic, it'll give you tropical, and then it'll give you draconic.
Mm.
So we are in the soul of the soul with this transit. This is a very spiritual and just where is our faith transit. I've done, like, since this transit has come about, this is one of the things that I could tell cardinal dominance, and it usually hits. I'm like, right now you've been talking about God, what kind of God you believe in, and what is spirituality, what is faith. And that's been important for the Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. What am I doing this for? What is my space of truth? And, that's a question for the collective as well. And I know in the other lives you've talked about how people going back to religion. People are like, you know what, maybe we need to, like, there's an end of times coming in. You are right. People are in this energy. We're coming into a whole new cycle again. The same thing they thought about in Y2K. They're like, we're gonna die.
We're gonna die.
Cut all the TVs.
Yeah. And then I think the lesson again with the difference is that maybe this time it's not too much about picking a side, but seeing how we can like understand this holistically and merge and just find the common denominators and just be like, these are the common denominators. I just hope that because I'm with all the political and us being at this boiling point again, with religious warfare as well. It's like I feel like there's something with the Piscean energy where it's like, can we all just really just see each other as fucking human beings and see the common denominators within all of these things and just agree to disagree sometimes? Like, you can do your thing, I can do my thing. But if we all believe God exists, then why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? If we all believe there's a God, well, most of us, why are we fighting? Just because you do it this way and the other one does it that way. It's like, let's come down to the fundamental truth. Let's come down to the thing we all agree on versus the minor details, you know? Crazy times we're in.
Very, very,
I feel we feel the boiling point, that's for sure.
Facts. Very crazy times. Like, it's however you want to look at it. However you want to look at it, it's definitely centering faith. I am, and definitely with the not picking, like, it's not necessarily a side to stay on because we're still in immutable energy. Saturn is still immutable, so where it's okay to change your mind. You've learned something new. You've found more information. So with that,
yeah, I love that. I like that you brought up the mutable point because it's like, even sometimes I get people who, when I put a post or I write something about God in the post, I'll get people like, oh, I didn't know you were religious. And it's like, oh, I need to be religious to write about God. Like, or they're like, oh, I didn't know you believe in God. And it's like, why? Because I talk about astrology. So it's like you said, there is this, yeah, I could see what you mean about it just being mutable and us having to like open our perspective on certain things and be like, okay, now I learned this and I had a religious base. How do I now make this all make sense to me? And yeah, totally. Plus we have at a certain point, North Node is going to conjunct Neptune, is gonna conjunct right before it goes into Aries, is gonna conjunct Saturn. Like, there's just a lot of I just feel like we're at a tipping point, and I can see why, you know, in terms of the religious text, it's like revelation times, because it really be feeling like that. But it's a highly spiritual time. I agree with you. So I definitely want to wrap up. I know we're in the middle of the day. So any last words, any last things you want to say to the people based off of this energy? Before you even say that, I will just let people know that you're doing, that Umi's doing her Master Your Year Ahead class to help you plan for your new year, the new astrological year and beyond. You guys are going to be just making sure I'm here. You guys are going to be going through transit, the perfection charts, the solar returns, and she's going to really be helping you break down and chart your course for the upcoming, like this year and the upcoming years. I was there for the last perfection chart year, and honestly it's been so profound, and I've been using it every day. Like I was like, yo, this is a Leo day for me. Like I'm gonna wear my orange, I'm gonna look good. Like I've been using it, and I'm like, yo, I could totally see the patterns in my life, and it's crazy. So she's gonna be teaching you guys that. That's the one I'm super excited for you guys to all learn. So that's next week, Thursday. So you guys can join. The link is in her bio. So Master Your New Year Ahead class. Plan out your new astrological year, your plans for this year and beyond. And she's going to show you guys all the methods for that. And we're also going to be back with our monthly horoscopes. We're going to start not next week, but the week after. So just make sure you guys subscribe to the Growth Project on YouTube at Cherry Spheres. Just tap at Cherry Spheres. And if you guys want to know what April really entails for your sign, we're going to be breaking that down within 2 weeks. So I'm going to let you say your last message for the people, Umi, and then we can head out.
So like I was speaking, so I just want to give an overview, a few things I want to throw out there just to like have your minds moving, right? So looking at where the planets sit in your chart is important. So what house does it sit in? That's how you're going to look how transits manifest. Like right now, if we're in Aries energy, look to see where Aries sits in your chart. With that Piscean energy, look to see where Piscean energy sits in your chart. That Aquarius energy, look to see where Aquarius energy sits in your chart, and that's how you build more of your own prediction for your own life. Another thing I've been really working on is degree theory. Just want to throw that out there. Look at to see what the degree of the day is. Even though it's in an Aries energy on the sun, it's 1 degree today, so it's Aries. Right now, the moon should be
like 23
degrees. I want to see.
We started the live at 22.
Just want to make sure. Current planet.
Someone asked, is this going to be
23?
Yes, it's 23. Okay, go ahead.
So 23. Aquarius. Right now, the moon is in an Aquarius degree. So Aquarius in a Leo moon. So even what we're doing right now, group, where there's energy of bringing networking, energy of projecting self, energy of finding collective collective interest within others, that basis there, and also resources. So that's another thing also with this. I guess in the next hour we got some bills to pay, we got some things that we need to go iron out, some things that we need to put energy towards, because it's energy of commitment, investment. But working with degree theory can help you work more into your predictions. Also, degree theory helps you understand more of your natal chart. So where that sits, I'm a 28th degree sun, so I have a Cancer degree on my sun. I'm a 17 degree Taurus moon. I have a Leo degree energy on my moon. That can help you out in your own chart. And just give more characteristics, traits, so you can see how this energy manifests. Same thing with the transits. Tomorrow it'll be a 2 degree in Aries. So that means it'll be a Taurus day, a Taurus degree energy in Aries. So there's a Taurus energy that's still flowing. But remember, Martian is still in goals, taking initiative, new beginnings. I've never done this before. First time. That's what Aries opens up in general. But I want to push out degree theory to help, especially for those who want to work with horoscopes, want to be astrologers themselves, and just want to see how you can break down the energy, like you were saying before, to the least common denominator.
I love that. And for those of you who are interested in that, like getting more in depth with that, the degree theory and everything like that, hop into the Patreon. I saw someone said here, like, I can't wait for for you guys to break down things in Patreon, and it just clicked in my mind. Yes, definitely get into the Patreon. Next Tuesday we're doing a live in the Patreon, and we break down things like that. Umi even started talking about the degree theory in Patreon. She started a series with that. So most def. And it's a Korean degree. Like you said, the moon is a Korean degree. So I just have to throw on the Patreon because it's like we're gang in the Patreon. So most definitely. Okay. I like that. I'm excited for us to talk more and to break down these things. Like I told everyone, we're not going to be on here next week because we have the Patreon live next week, and then Umi's class on the Patreon live is on Tuesday. Umi's class is on Thursday. But the week after, we're going to be doing the horoscopes on YouTube. So check us out. This will be saved as well. You guys can find it here, and I'll probably try to upload it to the YouTube. But everything that you guys need, just check the link in the bio. Someone asked, hey, I want to get a progress chart reading. What does that entail? Omi, do you want to answer that really quickly?
Yep. So there's two. I have two things going on. So I have the master class where we're going to talk about it, like mastering out your year. So there's a few breakdowns we're going to do. We're going to look at the solar return, perfection chart, progress chart, lunar return, and I'm also going to dabble in locational, so astrocartography, and just show you how to look at things where it's like, is this my Venus line? Is this my sun line? Is this my Mercury line if I was to move here? Or how to look at it from the map, like on a map view, like so that base is there. So that's with the class. Now, let's say you're like, okay, I'm not gonna make it at that time, can't really fit that in. I have another promo going on where for mastering your year ahead, techniques, charts, the solar return and the progression chart. There's 15% on those charts. If you are not, if you either or, if you decide to take both, if you want to do either or, it's up to you. But there's also a promo outside of this. I wanted to put a promo on the charts that were about what connected to the class, which is about mastering out your year, figuring out about patterns. And that's what I do with both of the charts. We work on what season you're in right now, what you're working with, which you naturally have, your natal chart, but what season you've progressed into, you've merged, you've matured into, and then now how the transits affect you. With the perfection chart, I help you work year by year, month by month, and just to have a little fun, day by day. I try to do day by day a little bit less so people don't get crazy and feel like, oh, today's going to be everything. Then the world's over.
I like day by day. Day by day really helps me make sense of like the month and everything like that. I like the day by day because when it was on my fixed days, I was like, some resources about to come in. But sometimes it wasn't resources coming in. Sometimes it was resources going out. Shit. But at least it helped me see the themes. So I like it day by day. But I know you're gonna go into that in the class. So yeah, if you guys can make the class, get a progression reading, or a solar return reading with only 15% off. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for being here, girl. I will see you next week. I will see you Tuesday in the Patreon, Thursday on your class, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Love you guys so much. Mwah.
Thank you. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like I said, this is going to be saved. I'm going to put it up also on the YouTube. I'll try to get that out by this weekend. In terms of if you have any questions for the masterclass, any questions for the Patreon, anything like that, you guys can ask me. As you guys know, I work with Umi. I'm her marketing manager. So if you guys have any questions that has to do with the masterclass or anything like that, you can ask me and I will have the information for you. So put it down below. But let me just see if that we missed any questions. Progression chart, good. Interested in that. Thank you guys. I love that you guys love the live. We've been going back and forth about whether we should do it during the day, and I'm happy to see that a lot of you guys was here. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining. As y'all know, subscribe to the YouTube at The Growth Project at Cheers. Bye.